Podcasting is a great way to engage with your audience and stay consistently relevant. The only problem is you don't have the time or desire to produce your own show. You simply want it done for you, and that's where Social Chameleon comes in. All you need to do is press record and upload the files. We'll handle the rest. From planning, production, post-production, distribution, and digital marketing, we have you covered. We realize that times are tough and funds are tight, and Social Chameleon believes in building supportive business relationships. By clicking on the link in this promo, we'll provide you 7 free podcasting tips to get started, as well as a free 30-minute online consultation. This is the perfect opportunity for entrepreneurs, keynote speakers, industry experts, influencers, and anybody who has a personal brand. With Social Chameleon, we help you build a brand that is out of this world. We're ready and waiting, so what are you waiting for? Click on the link to get started today. Hey guys, my guest today is an incredible and inspiring fighter. For decades, she's been battling the chronic autoimmune disease, multiple sclerosis, that has impacted her life in many different ways. Through her journey of learning about the disease, personal self-care, and well-being, an idea was sparked that would allow her to share with others the experience to health, self-care, mindfulness, restoration, and positivity. By helping others heal and paying it forward, this has in turn helped to foster her own continual healing. She has gathered with leading wellness allies and experts to create a multidimensional program that approaches every aspect of healthy well-being. Welcome to the show, Dawnmarie DiCioccio.
Thank you so very much. I am so honored to be here today. And what an incredible introduction. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's incredible because
thank you.
It's incredible because of all that you've done, and you're welcome. This is an honor to have you on. We're talking to people. Some people tuning in will have MS. Some people will have family members with it. I mentioned to you off camera, my brother is currently battling with this, and a lifelong friend of mine from high school has this as well. And so, and as you mentioned to me, you said, you know what, Mike, I bet you there are others that may have it that haven't made an official announcement because it's a very personal thing. So we're really talking to that arena right here. And who better to do it than someone who's been battling for decades? But you are on purpose. You've taken it on as your mission to take your personal situation and not make it about one person. You flipped it and turned it into helping out others. And I think that's incredible.
Thank you so very much. And you're right. My mission is not for myself. It's for the world. Mm-hmm. And it's for creating that community of all of us that are living with multiple sclerosis. But it's not just that. It's the families. It's the friends. It's the people that have come across the disease, along with, just people following me just to follow me, because my vision of moving forward is constantly moving forward. Don't stay in the past and don't stay in the current present. It's constantly learning and evolving and moving forward with anything and any crisis that you deal with in life, because the past is the past and you got to leave it there. And
I love that. Because, when you have a devastating situation, it's going to knock you down, right? And in this case, it's your health. We understand that and can appreciate something devastating like MS. It's going to knock people down. A lot of times it's a continuous, you get back up and you get knocked down again. We all know you're going to get back up at some point, right? I mean, that's the goal, is to get back up. So if we know we want to end up here and we're down here, right? We can wait a month to finally to start feel positive about it, or we talked about this again off camera, is making that indecision in like right in the moment that we're going to get there, right? So it's not that easy though, right? You and I, we are always talking about positivity and gratitude on our social media channels, yet we're human. So there's times we need help and reach out to a friend, reach out to each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to say this too, because if you're tuning in and you're not familiar with Dawnmarie, you can check her website out. It's DawnmarieHealthyandFit.org. Also on IG, same thing. It's all together. Dawnmarie, and it's spelled DawnMarie. Marie, healthy and fit, and it's spelled out AND. And on LinkedIn too, connect with her, Dawnmarie, and her last name is spelled Deshaies, correct?
Correct.
Bam. All right.
Amazing. You got it.
Here we go. This is it. We are going to dive right in with an amazing quote. I peeled it right off of your website, and I feel like it's a great way to launch this interview in the right direction. Here it is. Your life is your story. Write well and edit often. Living with MS does not define you. Define your dreams. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. I came up with that quote when I was in the middle of writing my book, Living with Phantoms, the first book, about what that disease did to me. And I wrote it more of therapy, and then realized the world needed to see this book, because from age 20 all the way up to today, I'm 54, I had been living with the disease in my early 20s and always thinking I was being haunted by a phantom, something I could never see, but I knew something was wrong with me, but constantly being dismissed by doctors, being told I was a corporate woman, I was on the road working, I was high maintenance, running, not enough sleep, to the point of take a Prozac, take a Xanax, take this, take that. And no doctor really listening to the definitions of what was truly wrong with me. It was, okay, just take this. And for years, I was like, okay, fine, you're the doctor. I guess I got to listen to you. I never stood up for myself. I never was my advocate. I just trusted what was said because they were the doctors. But deep down inside, I knew I was being destroyed by a phantom that was killing me little by little every day. I lost my eyesight. I lost my speech. I would drop things. I would be in the middle of a corporate meeting and forget what someone just said to me.
Yeah.
I was having memory loss. I would be walking in high heels, walking throughout the stores as I was managing. And all of a sudden I would have what they call today drop leg, which is a symptom of multiple sclerosis. And people would be like, are you drinking? I'm like, no, I'm not drinking. And it would literally, my legs would just like cave out from under me, or I would be like itching all over the place and like pulling out my hair to the point of like hair loss because of the tingling that we feel. It's like we're being electrocuted. Like if you've ever, and everyone pretty much in the world has gone to plug in something in the wall, and sometimes you happen to touch that little plug and you get zapped.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So take that
like
feeling.
Quick electric shock, kind of.
Yes.
Where you feel your nerves being zapped.
Yeah. So take that feeling and times it by 1,000 throughout your entire body. That is the constant pain we feel every day.
Now, is that common in most people that have MS, or, and I want to make sure we don't miss what you said there. You've had this into your 20s. Starting in your 20s. And yeah. I'm not trying to kiss up here to my guests, but I had no clue you were in your 50s, by the way. You look
Thank you.
So you've really been dealing with this for about 30 years, which is a long time. So, and you mentioned times where your legs have gone out or vision loss, and even in a meeting, just forgetting, knowing that you were listening, but knowing that you're having a hard time retrieving the information is a frustrating thing, right? So can you tell us, that sounds like it's pretty common among, doing my research here, those are symptoms, right? But how, now obviously you can see, so you got, your sight was something that was lost and came back in the situation.
I've actually lost my sight over the years. I can't even count anymore.
That's what it comes and it goes. I was going to ask, it comes and goes. And yes. So it's not something that's gone now that you had before. So that could very much happen tomorrow.
Exactly. It could happen during this talk. We could be having an amazing interview, and then you literally just say something to me and I can't recall or speak back to you. Literally what is happening is think of your brain. The brain has so many amazing facets to it, and we only use 10% of our brain in reality.
Some people use 10. Hey, go easy. Maybe at 7.
Okay. You do higher than, you're at the higher realm of the normal average 10%. But what happens is our own immune systems that are supposed to protect us is not protecting us. Mm-hmm. It is actually leaving what we call the blood-brain barrier. So it is breaking through into the brain and the spinal nervous system cord, the brain and spinal cord. And it is breaking through and going into the brain and eating at our brain. So they're like little zombies when you want to put it into a form that everyone can understand. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, imagine you get a cut. It starts to heal, but it's going to, you just broke that skin, that barrier. So my white blood cells and everybody else, 3.1 million people in the world today living with this disease, it breaks through, leaves a hole through the vein, goes into the brain, and thousands of little white blood cells are in my brain now, like Pac-Man, eating all around every facet of the brain. What eventually happens is what we call the lesions. Mm-hmm. They become exposed. Imagine now, take that in your mind frame and take everyone has an iPhone charger or some kind of phone charger, and that part that you plug into the wall starts to break and decay, and then you start to see the open wires. Mm-hmm. So that is what's happening in our brain. So our skin covers the outside of our body, correct? Mm-hmm. Our brain has an outside layer that protects billions of facets that control the human body. Mm-hmm. Well, those white blood cells are eating that. Mm-hmm. And they're having a party. They're eating all over the place. So not one person is diagnosed exactly the same. Right. Every single one of our brain MRIs can be completely different or very similar.
Because the attacks, think of it like an attack, like you're saying, little zombies or phantoms.
Little zombie,
they're coming in different doors for different people. They're doing damage in different ways. So it has to be incredibly maddening for doctors and scientists to try to find to battle something that's looking different all the time, right?
Exactly. There's not one MS patient in the world that has the same lesions in the brain.
Right.
Do we all experience about 50% of the same issues? Yes. Do we all end up paralyzed? No. Have I been paralyzed? Yes. 8 times in my life. Complete paralyzation, where either it was because I had an infection in my body or something was going on and I was stressed, and stress will trigger an attack, which is what we call a multiple sclerosis flare. Stress will trigger a really bad flare, a mild flare, depending on your personality. Mm-hmm. What are you living in? What kind of environment are you dealing with? What is your job like? How much are you dealing with every day? And are you acknowledging and taking care of your body? So there's so many facets to this, just like they are the human brain. And when you're diagnosed and then you're told that you've got multiple sclerosis, then you're told you should go on interferon drugs, which actually those drugs stop your white blood cells from eating your brain. But then there's so many other bad symptoms that happen. I'm not against pharma, but I am the 1 percentile that if it's going to happen, I'm in that 1 percentile. Mm-hmm. I have been on and off the drugs. I am not on interferon drugs any longer. I deal with my disease with all holistic food, organic food, and constantly re-empowering myself and my brain and relearning every day. If I'm being shut down on this point in my left side of the brain and memory or what is not being affected, I will focus on the right side of my body and brain. Mm-hmm. Kind of like playing Russian roulette. Like, okay, you're going to attack me over here. Well, I'm going to focus over here. So you can't, you don't know where to go.
You're a moving target.
I'm a moving target. So I've learned to become that moving target with everything that I do. So if my right arm is numb and I can't type, I will purposely take my left arm and I'll like start tapping the table, or I'll start like moving my hair. Wow. And like trying to get my body to function on here instead of shutting this down. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like...
That's amazing. Did you come up with that theory, or did you study that somewhere? Or is that just...
No, I didn't study it anywhere. I just started reading more about the human body and how it connects and works together. Mm-hmm. So we have, a lot of people say we're right brain, left brain thinkers. Well, you got to kind of use both when you have multiple sclerosis. So you really got to assess your personal life and what is your environment like? Is it chaotic? If it's chaotic, your life is going to be chaotic. Mm-hmm. Is your environment calming? Is your environment welcoming and soothing? The brain needs that calmness, and you need to learn to pay attention to the signs. And I started to track them. Okay, I'm having symptoms today, and it was on this part of my body. And I would write down, what did I eat? What did I do? Who was I around? What was I listening to? Did I not get enough sleep? Do I need a nap? So I started tracking all of my symptoms, and I actually made a folder for all the doctors every time I would go to whoever I was going to. And I started to realize there's a pattern. Mm-hmm. You can trick this disease. We can't cure it.
Yeah.
But mind over matter is 100% true.
So it's constantly fighting you. So it's like anything. You could talk about sports. So the opponent's always coming at you. You have to consistently be changing the game plan. The best thing you can do is,
and anticipate. Yeah, like you just said.
And kind of stay on the defense all the time, right?
Yeah, you're at war with your own brain.
Your body's at war with itself. It's really scary when you think of it that way. But have you ever heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza?
No, I haven't. But I'd love to know more.
I've researched him as well, and he's been on many podcasts that I listen to, and I haven't met him personally. I would love to interview him, but he's really like on, A-list level, and I plan on...
Don't give up.
I'm never going to give up. I mean, I have a feeling I'll interview him at some point in my life, but it would be incredible. Check him out, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Off camera, I'll send you some links and everything. But he is all about holistic. He got into, I forget his exact story, so I'm kind of paraphrasing it. And I don't think the details necessarily on this example are, if I miss a detail, it's not going to change the story. The most important thing is I believe he was riding his bike and something happened where like a car door opened or something, and he had this major accident. Spinal injury, told he'll never walk again, that kind of thing. He got multiple doctors reviewing his situation, and basically everything said, what is that, a prognosis? Would that be what it's called, or diagnosis? Would be that he was not going to be able to walk. Well, he refused to do that. The only solution was major surgery, and I believe that there was no guarantee that was going to help him either. So he was told, you're wheelchair bound the rest of your life. Good luck, right? Kind of the feeling he got. Well, he went into like doing more natural healing of the mind, how strong the mind is. And he literally was doing meditations where he was telling his body and his spine, he was getting in tune with himself, physically in tune, where like he was kind of correcting his spine, his mind. And I'll be damned, he walks today, he gets up on stage today, and he's helped people with MS also do similar things. And I don't want to speak about anything that I don't have a degree in or anything. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor on this show. I'm simply saying there's resources out there for people to check out. And Dr. Joe D is an awesome way to do it. Having you on my show today is a great way to do it, getting firsthand experience. So you talked about it, and I want to talk about many other things, your books as well. Before we get into that real quick, what are some of the other things that you've maybe read on holistically? Because I'm really interested in that.
Holistically, you can find holistic medications everywhere. Mother's, Whole Foods, you name it. really look into the research. How much is it downgraded as far as like the percentage, what is in the pill and what gets absorbed into the body? Do your research. And it doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but it's a good shot. So go ahead and research it. But if you're doing the research, record it, videotape it, or write it down. Because living with multiple sclerosis, we have memory loss. We have issues with cognitive skills. Sometimes we can't speak, and it's called the choke. And it literally feels like someone is choking us and we can't get oxygen. That is when that part of the brain is being attacked by the white blood cells, and it shuts down all of the nervous system that controls the breathing. Also, the bear hug happens. It feels like someone's coming up behind you and your rib cage is being crushed. So there are so many severe symptoms that when the disease progresses, will put you into a wheelchair and completely wipe out the ability of doing anything. So that's why I'm constantly in battlefield with my brain. And now it's more of a game, because I'm like, really? That's what you're going to do to me today? Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do to you. Yeah. And it's like that constant movement. But being positive, eating healthy and well is key. No dairy.
No dairy.
Any multiple sclerosis patient should not have dairy. No grains.
Now let's talk about that.
If you're going
no dairy and no grains. So how come?
Well, because dairy is inflammatory for anybody, especially people with multiple sclerosis or cancer or heart disease or sugar diabetes. Not to put the United States down. I was born in the United States. I love my country. I love everything about it. But our country has a lot of preservatives, and it's not like living overseas where things are still bought from the market and daily and not preserved. If you're in a grocery store and you're living with any autoimmune disease, especially multiple sclerosis, because we don't have a cure, and you're shopping in the center aisles, you're not helping your body. If you're doing drive-through fast food, you're going to have an attack. If you're drinking sodas and everything, and like Starbucks coffee drinks that are like frappuccinos and all this other stuff,
and
it's not good for you. It's not good for anybody, especially for multiple sclerosis patients.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go there, because I feel like whenever there's something that's important in a health, like I think of pregnant women all the time. Like there's all these, don't take this if you're pregnant because of this, and this. I'm like, well, we care about pregnant women, obviously, because we care that there's a pregnant woman involved and a baby. Does that mean that we all should be concerned about it, but they just don't care about us as much unless we are carrying a baby? And that makes me wonder if like the market is actually knowingly giving us stuff, which I know the answer to this. And again, I'm not going to make any big statements, but
I'm not going to make any statements either, but I agree with where you're going.
I'm telling everybody, do your own research. If you're eating, a particular product and it's got dairy in it and it's cheese and this and that and preservatives, just ask yourself, what is this actually doing to my guts, my internal? That's a whole nother thing. Our gut is our second brain, right? And so whether you have MS or anything, or you're
it's funny. And now they're saying the gut is our first brain.
I know.
Today, and all of the research today. So whatever you're putting in there, it's going to create a chain of effects.
Yeah.
Where you're going to go downhill, or if you're putting in the good, you're going to start to feel better and get energized and move forward. And you'll actually start to notice your body, your face, your movement, your hair, your teeth, everything. Really, you're nourishing your first brain, your gut, then your second brain, and then you're nourishing the rest of the body that is living within that unit.
Yeah, because it's literally fuel for our temple. And you take care of your body like that. Look, I'm not the poster child for a perfect healthy diet, and I have some health issues too. But it's incredibly difficult in our society to do what you're talking about. So
it's very difficult.
The reason for having you on is so you can share this with the world, because I'm learning, and I think people who are tuning in right now are looking for some help. So they can get help in checking out your books as well. I know on Amazon they can find Living with Phantoms, and it's spelled PHANTO and then MS, play on the spelling. A Journey to the Truth, that's on Amazon. And another book, Finding the Sun Through the Clouds, that's available anywhere. What are a couple concepts from your books that you'd like to share based on how we can help out our audience?
Living with Phantoms is a book of my entire life from age 2 to 52 when I finished the book. Wow. I started writing it at 52 and finished it at 52. But it was about a young girl being born with severe asthma, allergies, and chronically in and out of the hospital and sick my entire life. All I knew was sick. I didn't know what normal was, if there ever is a true normal. Mm-hmm. And throughout my life, there was always something I was battling. Health, number one. Did I eat right? No, I didn't. Did I work a lot? Yes, I did. Did I stand up for myself with the doctors? No, I didn't. I believed they were the doctor and I followed suit. The key point of that book is when you know something is wrong, like your mother always says, or your dad or your priest or wherever, trust your gut. Mm. If you have that feeling that something is wrong and you're not getting those answers, what are you going to do? Are you going to run away and just let it be? Or are you going to fight for your life? So you're going to fight or flight. Yeah. I've done both. I am both. Mm. And for over 52 years of my life, I was flight. I didn't fight for it.
Well, now you're bringing so much awareness around this. You have a whole brand around it. Again, the website is DawnmarieHealthyandFit.org. And you're doing a challenge. It's hashtag Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Challenge. Tell us about
world.
That's to the world. To the world. Tell us about it.
Yes. So my challenge is, one, there's not enough talk about multiple sclerosis or even understanding the disease itself. Mm-hmm. There is societies, the Multiple Sclerosis Society. There's foundations out there. There's MS Walk. There's, Hope for MS. There's Cure MS. But those are only certain parts of the time of the year. And it's a month. That's not enough. Right. My challenge is it needs to be every single day of the year.
Love that.
And so I was in the car with my husband and I said, I'm going to post a picture of me with MS on my arm, my warrior pain. Because I'm a warrior for multiple sclerosis and for all autoimmune diseases. But I'm going to post a picture and I'm going to challenge 15 of my friends to challenge their friends to create a viral message throughout the world. Let me frame it for you. Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Challenge. And I said, let me frame it for you because when someone says you have MS, wow, you look really healthy. I'm like, well, MS doesn't make you look stupid. Yeah. Or, everyone looks healthy.
And then there's that compliment they thought they were giving you that really was it's actually worse than they said anything, right?
Right.
You're better off when your mouth was closed. Thank you very much.
But that's so true. Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. So I'm like, well, what am I supposed to look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. You don't know someone has cancer unless their hair is falling out. Right. You don't know someone has a heart disease unless they tell you. Mm-hmm. So those comments need to kind of stop. And so my point was...
What we're saying is the comments, usually it's because they're interested in helping out. But the reason, again, another point of our conversation today, I didn't mean to interrupt, is that we're trying to educate people on what to do and what questions to ask or how to notice if someone... You don't know that they have MS, but once you find out, what's good conversation to have, because there's still this stigma that people are afraid to talk about it because it's uncomfortable. So we want people to be more comfortable open and just talk about it. So this, you writing this on your arm, and I actually have a bracelet over here I got for this interview, and I forgot to put it on, and it's in support of you and in support of my brother and my friend and, just anybody in the world, 3.1 million people. So I got a little off on a tangent there. I'm sorry about that. But I want people to know it's okay to have these conversations and open up.
It's okay to have a conversation about anything in life. Yeah. When it affects you as a human being and it affects the people around you, have that conversation. Mm-hmm. Because you may be the key that someone hears that will save their life or move them forward to save someone else's life.
Oh my God, that's so good. Pause it, guys, when you're listening right now, and rewind it and listen to that one more time.
Yeah. So you can be at a Starbucks and the person in front of you could change your life. Why are you standing there on your phone or not saying hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how are you? How's your day going? And most of the time, 90% of the people will be like, I'm good, thank you. Or, you know what, I'm having a shitty day. And you can say, are you okay? Can I do anything for you? Mm-hmm. We need to bring back humanity.
Yes.
Compassion and love and support, and stop making people feel like they can't speak their truth.
Oh, that's so good.
We have to speak our truth. I for the longest time was told, you're going to be like made whatever by letting this story out. I'm like, no, I am going, if I help one person, my story was worth it. Yes. My books are selling. I am helping people, but people are helping me. Mm-hmm. People that follow me are helping me every single day of my life. We share stories. We talk together. If someone says, I want to have a 1 hour phone call with you, I'll give them a 1 hour phone call. What's up? What do you need? How can I help you? Tell me what's going on in your life. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, I end up learning 50%.
Yeah.
From that.
So when you give, it's that go-giver mentality. You're on purpose. Talked about it from the top of the show. You took your life story and you turned it into a way that you can give back. You're leading with service, and being on purpose, you're connected to it. It's more meaningful. You're not simply doing a job. When you're doing your personal branding, it's not about what income can I bring in from this. It's about how many people I can help. And you literally do. I can tell you mean it when you say, if I help one person today, it's the best day. If I help 12 people, it's amazing. And with your book, you can help people when you don't even know they're being helped. And with this interview, people can be listening at any time of day, anywhere in the world. And what's exciting is we don't know where they are or when they're being helped. But they could listen to this 5 years from right now when we're recording it, and it could really change their life because they can start to do research for themselves. I like the thing you talked about, trying to use the other side of your brain, or if your arm's numb, to get your brain to be, instead of just being static, you're trying to do things actively to get your, to combat it. And like you said, you're a moving target. You're not going to just lay defeat the MS. You're not going to let it win easy.
No, right? I'm not, because it has almost taken my life 8 times. It has paralyzed me. I was on a medication that made me suicidal, and I tried to take my life. Wow. Thank God for the iPhone. Because I left the house knowing something was wrong with me, and I thought the world and my children and my husband would be better off without me. And it was not it was the MS, but it was the drug they had me on that I was allergic to, and I was sepsis. If you know the drug is making you change your personality or something is making things worse, you need to pay attention to that. I did not. I thought, oh my God, like my MS is getting worse. I'm on this new drug. I should be feeling better. I went up to 155 pounds of pure water infection. And I was thinking of suicide every single day of my life during that time frame. And then I took all the pills that I knew I was allergic to. I don't know why I kept them in the house.
I have a feeling, did you flush them down the toilet or something?
No, I took them. I left my home on purpose, thinking it was the best thing I could do for my family. Mm-hmm. I went to a hotel room. I took all the pills. I was at my worst despair of my life. And I left a message on my phone, thinking when they found me, they would find my phone. And I didn't know my phone connected to my iPad, even though I was far away. The magic of the cloud.
It was in the little, like the sticky notes.
It was a video. No, it was a video.
Yeah.
I left my husband a video, and the video went straight to the iPad at home. It lit up. My husband, it woke him up because of the light, and he watched the video, tracked my phone, saved my life.
Oh my gosh. Wow, am I speechless. Thank you
And
for
from
opening up.
that moment, after getting everything out of me and getting back on the right track and seeing my therapist and getting the medication out of my system, I swore I would never take any more of those drugs and that I would continue to shine my purpose at a higher realm and awareness of what we all go through in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because we think that it's easier to be gone than it is to fight the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And suicide prevention is high right now for everything that everybody is dealing with in life.
We're in the pandemic as we record this. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I finally got clarity and I realized I am here for a reason. This is a horrible disease, but I have learned to control it. I have learned to know to now speak up and be the best advocate of my life. And when I don't like the answers, I will fight to get them. And if you're not the doctor that's going to get it from me, I will find another one.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. That's a mic drop moment right there. That is so powerful. I want to say though, let's not go right through that moment. Thank you for sharing that and opening up, because there's people that have MS or again have family that has it, or it could be somebody who's dealing with a tough situation during the pandemic. It doesn't matter what it is, but that's a very real feeling that I think a lot of people have, and they don't know who to share it with. And they may have had that thing happen and they didn't have the iPad situation, but something else may have happened. And so thank you for sharing that, because again, you felt the medications were intentional to help you, but they were really hurting you. And
they're killing me.
They were almost to the point of your death. And again, I'm not over here saying anti-pharma, but I'm just saying, again, please, guys, listening to this, find alternative solutions. If you're feeling that you're being hurt or mentally distraught, affected, negatively impacted. You said it earlier, the thing about your mom or parents. Tell someone, do something about it. And you just said, take control of your own actions. Because if a doctor tells you to jump through a wall or jump off a cliff or whatever, maybe
you're going to question that and say no. But if a doctor writes you a prescription and sends you on your way without listening to all of the fine points of exactly what is wrong with you, and is not writing them down properly, which I also, you're going to laugh at this one. When I see my doctor jotting it down, I'm like, I want to see what you wrote.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when early on in my years, they would say, do you drink? And I'm like, yeah, I have a glass of wine. They would write down a bottle. Pay attention to what your doctors are writing when you are speaking to them in the office. Get a copy of it.
Yeah, half the time it's not even the real doctor, right? You see somebody else representing the doctor, and then they're taking notes off site.
Exactly. And they're not taking all of your notes.
Yeah.
They're taking smidgets of your notes. But the number one thing, best advocate, but the even better part is those doctors work for you.
Right. Yeah. You're hiring them.
We're hiring them to help us live a healthy, productive life.
Absolutely.
So why are we getting 1 minute of their time?
That, and also,
and they are making all of the money.
What else can we do, right? If we hire you, we can fire
you.
Find someone else.
I have fired many.
Yeah.
If you're not doing your job in corporate, what's going to happen to you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And here's the deal. It's 2020 as we record this, right? We're in a time and age that information is not difficult to find. The challenge is a different challenge. There's a lot of info, so you got to really sort through it. But the problem is not like 100 years ago where you had limited resources and you had to go to physically drive to a library and dig, and there's one book out of 1,000. We have the internet. We have, you can Google it, you can research, and there's some scary parts about that because of all the information out there. But we're talking about having no excuse to be at to feel a lack of resources and being cornered into just believing what one person says about one thing. No,
Exactly.
we're going to go and get all these. We're going to compare notes. We're going to do it just like we would start a business. We wouldn't just like one idea. We're going to start it. We're never going to challenge it. If things aren't working, we can continually grow, learn and grow, adapt and change. And you've been doing that for 30 years. And it sounds like you've had some great doctors. You've had some horrible ones. But the most important person in the whole puzzle is yourself. And you've taken so much responsibility for yourself. And you know, I don't know your family personally, but it sounds like you got their.
I have an amazing support system. My husband has literally been by my side 1,000,000,000%. Mm-hmm. When I'm pushing him away, mm-hmm. or I'm yelling at him for whatever is going on in my brain, mm-hmm. he sits calmly and listens to me.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And you will read all of that in the book. Mm-hmm. I write about him exactly the way my life went. Mm-hmm. But for years I hid it. That's another thing with multiple sclerosis patients, because I didn't know I had MS. And I thought at one point he was either going to divorce me. I asked for a divorce because I thought I was going insane.
Sure.
He said no. I was like, I'm never going to be able to give you a baby. We had 5 miscarriages. Wow. Because of multiple sclerosis, from 12 weeks to 16 weeks pregnancy. Mm-hmm. I thought, okay, something's really wrong with me. No, I'm not getting answers. This is why I wrote the book, because 72% of women in the world, out of the 3.1 million% people living with multiple sclerosis, are women. Most of us have had miscarriages. Most of us have had suicidal thoughts. Most of us have been depressed. Mm-hmm. Most of us feel like we are out of control and we don't know what's going on until we get diagnosed. And it's hard to get diagnosed early on because the lesions have to be large enough to be picked up by an MRI machine. Mm-hmm. So by the time you're diagnosed, your lesions are progressed very largely.
It's further along to the point where now you're talking about major medication and things where it wasn't
exactly
really early.
Exactly. And blood work will not tell you have MS. Mm-hmm. If a doctor says your blood work looks great, there's nothing wrong with you, demand a CT scan, an MRI. Do your research for your own personal well-being. Mm-hmm. You are the most expensive house you're going to buy. You are the most expensive car you're going to buy. You are the most expensive property you will ever own. Mm-hmm. So take care of it.
Right. Because who else will if you're not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we take care of our cars better than we do our own bodies.
I was going to say that with food, you know, people don't just put junk gasoline in their car. They put the 3 options that are there. They don't just go and put Kool-Aid and lemonade. And
exactly.
It's not like the DeLorean in Back to the Future, where at one point I think it works on garbage, right? We don't do it to our car, but then, you know, our car.
But we do it to ourselves.
To ourselves with all the junk and the preservatives and the fast food. And oh my gosh, this conversation, fortunately, I have to run on to get onto another call here, because I feel you and I can talk all day, and we're both on purpose helping people out. So when we start talking, 45 minutes, an hour flies by. I'd love to get kind of a final statement from you. If you can deliver a message that inspires our audience to be brave and bold in pursuit of their dreams, what would you tell them?
Keep inspiring the world through your self journey, because your story matters and you can save a life. If not one, millions. Mm-hmm. Never think that you are unseen. You are visible to the entire world. Make your voice heard.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. Guys, do you know how special this was for me to interview Dawnmarie today? This is amazing. I consider you a friend. I want to give a special shout out to Amberly Lago, who connected with us. She's got an incredible story. And again, it's Dawnmarie DiCioccio. And you guys can check her out at DawnmarieHealthyandFit.org on Instagram, Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit. Let's stay in contact, and I'm going to continue to follow your journey. Thank you for helping our audience and inspiring people every day. You are doing it through your actions. You're not just talking and yep on social. You are doing it through your actions. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Mike. I totally appreciate today, and I am honored that you have me on your show. And yes, let's keep in touch.
Hey, you know what I tell everybody, right? Be great and be grateful.
Be great and grateful. Exactly. Have a fabulous day, and thank you again.
I love you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. Check out more show notes and information on each episode at mikeduppodcast.com, MIKEDuppodcast.com. We're powered by Social Chameleon. You guys know what to do. Be great and be grateful.